listening to the Casting for Fun podcast, the show that talks about entertainment, sports, music, and inspirational stories for all to enjoy. We're glad you could join us today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, here is your host, Albert Pineda.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Casting for Fun podcast. I am your host, Albert Pineda, and this is for Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. For this week's episode, I'm joined again by my very good friend, Sean Luevano, a frequent collaborator to the show, been on many times. We're going to be discussing a lot of random topics that we enjoy talking about. As you probably know, if you've listened to the podcast before and have listened to episodes that Sean has appeared on, we have a lot of similar interests, shared common interests that we have. And so for this particular episode, instead of focusing on maybe just like 2 or 3 topics, we touch on several topics, which I think is actually kind of fun. I've done an episode like this before with my other frequent collaborator and good friend, Nick Turner. And then, of course, if you remember my anniversary episode with Allison last year, where we celebrated our 8th anniversary together, we did a similar theme for that particular episode as well. So Sean and I touch on several things. Sean preparing and participating in a 5K race through Chinatown, our mutual love of the Dodgers, talking about spring training, talking about favorite shows that we're enjoying right now. We talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. We talk about the Mandalorian season 3, which is going to start tomorrow, or if you're a night owl, tonight at midnight, you can actually start watching Mandalorian season 3. So yeah, lots of cool topics that Sean and I touch on, and it's always a pleasure to have him on the show. I do want to just give a quick update for the Dodgers. So Sean and I actually sat down and recorded on Sunday night, February 26th, but it appears that, yes, on February 27th, Monday, yesterday, Dodgers shortstop Gavin Lux sustained a really bad knee injury. And it's just been announced this morning on February 28th, Tuesday, that he has unfortunately torn his right ACL, which has got to be devastating and heartbreaking for him. So it was anticipated he was going to be the starting shortstop for the Dodgers this season, but now he's done for the whole year. So my thoughts and well wishes go out to him and his family, wishing Gavin Lux a speedy recovery, that he can be back on the field as soon as possible. But again, we probably won't see him at the earliest until 2024. So it appears, according to an article I read on ESPN, that Miguel Rojas is most likely going to be taking over shortstop responsibilities. It also mentions in this article that Chris Taylor might step in as well. So we'll see what manager Dave Roberts does. I mean, he's got some questions to answer now for what's going to happen with missing Gavin Lux for the entire season. But yeah, so Sean and I touch on the Dodgers, and we touch on so many other great topics as well. So please enjoy my conversation with Sean Luevano, talking about random topics that we enjoy. Returning to the Casting for Fun podcast is my very good friend, Sean Luevano. Sean, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well too. It's good to see you, and family's doing good. Everyone's doing healthy and well. So I hope you are too.
Yeah, man. Just trying to stay dry over here.
Oh, I know. It's pretty crazy. Like I was at work all day yesterday, so we got the heavy rain. But my wife was driving out further east, and she got hit by the snow. So it's kind of crazy to think that like people are like it's snowing in Southern California, not just in the mountains.
It's gnarly, man. End of times, man. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so let's take advantage of the time we have and talk about cool and entertaining stuff, man.
All right, sounds good.
Very cool, man. So I saw, I mean, today's going to be kind of a interesting scenario, because usually for podcasts, I choose maybe like 1 or 2 specific, maybe 3 specific topics. But because we have so much in common, there's like tons of stuff I wanted to cover with you over the course of an hour or however long we go. So yeah. So I'm curious about hearing about your experience training and running the 5K. That actually sounded really, really cool. So if you can share with the listeners, like, why did you decide to take on such a daunting race like that?
Well, I didn't do the running one. I did the walking one, the walking 5K.
Oh, okay.
I just I've always had gone to the gym, but I just hate doing like the cardio workouts there. Mm-hmm. And I like just being out and about. And so I just decided to put some 5Ks on the calendar. Mm-hmm. And just kind of just do them and just build up. And This was my first one, and I did it. It's the Firecracker 5K in Chinatown, which was cool because we started in Chinatown and we went up the hills to the entrance of Dodger Stadium, and then we came back down, which was cool. I'm doing another one in May, but that's the one where I'm gonna keep track of my time. I'm gonna hopefully have some more endurance when it comes to running. And I just, just want to be out, um, try to be fit and have a good time. I'm doing it, man.
Oh, that sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What's actually pretty cool is like you described, it's Chinatown. So I mean, right by Dodger Stadium. So it's an area, a neighborhood that I'm sure you know very well. So it's kind of nice, I guess, maybe to get to see more of it, because sometimes when we're going to games, we're going straight to the stadium and maybe not always looking at our surroundings. But I guess the general area is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's really cool because you start in Chinatown and they had the dragon dancers and you had drummers and they had some other drummers like along the way. But yeah, it was kind of cool just like, walking by or like just running or walking through places where I just kind of grew up going, like Phoenix Bakery. I mean, my family's been going there since like the 60s and we still go there today for their cakes and so just a little nostalgia, because my family's from that area.
Mhm.
For like three generations of my family were born in just in Elysian Park. And yeah, there's a street that I like to go to. I like to go to called Lookout Drive. And it takes you up halfway like Elysian, the halfway up the hill and just has beautiful view of all of like LA and East LA. It's a pretty cool place to like see the sunset. So it's cool because we got to walk up there. And then the surprise, what I didn't know was that we were gonna go to Dodger Stadium or at least the sign on Vinscoli Avenue.
Yeah.
So that was cool because everybody stopped to take pictures and I was taking pictures for people took pictures for me. So it was fun. And then to come back down, it was nice. It was a year of the rabbit, so I got a medal, with the rabbit and everything. And yeah, it was a fun experience. I think um just having different things to look at and see, especially if someone hasn't gone to Chinatown or isn't familiar, a lot of things are new. Signs are in Chinese and stuff like that. So it just really took your mind off of like you're exercising and like sweating and going up a hill, you know. So it's
Oh
cool.
yeah. Yeah, it sounds good, man. Perfect, dude. That's really, really cool. And then good for you for taking on something like that. So, but again, I'm sure for the physical reasons, for health reasons as well, but at the same
Oh,
time, I mean, just something for fun and enjoyment. So that's really cool, Sean. I grateful I got to hear that experience of yours, man.
thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, one thing that I was reminded of is whenever we'd go see 311 and like Santa Barbara or like Irvine Meadows, and we had
Yeah.
to go up those stupid hills,
Oh
the hills,
yeah.
and it's just like, man, now it's just like, oh, let's go see them. I'm down. Like those hills don't intimidate me anymore because it's just like you want to have a good time. The last thing you want to do is like sweat and like huff and puff when it's hot.
Oh yeah, and then also it's kind of funny with the Irvine Meadows. First, you got to do all those hills anyways, and then once you get in the venue, if you're like on the grass or the lawn, you have to go even further up the hill.
Yeah, so
So,
yeah, man. So that's why like I did the 5K. I'm not too worried about like my times or how fast I could do a minute. I just want to be healthy and just, do those things and yeah, and just have a good time when I'm at it.
oh, awesome, man, good for you, dude. And yeah, with the Irvine Meadows, I'm kind of happy that it doesn't exist anymore. Even though I love the venue, so many wonderful memories going there. Maybe the design needed a whole overhaul. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but yeah, yeah. Well, so sticking with the Dodgers, because we just mentioned the stadium, I want to do a little bit of Dodger talk with you because spring training just started. They had their first game yesterday, which was pretty cool to see. Freddie Freeman's already looking good so far, which is cool. And a couple of new players on the team. So David Peralta, JD Martinez, Alex Reyes. So a lot of these guys are just signed to 1-year deals, which I think is really good, really smart to do it that way. What did you think of maybe some of the new acquisitions the Dodgers have gotten, and then maybe some of the key guys who have left this offseason, like Justin Turner and Trey Turner?
Well, Trey Turner, I mean, the rumor, I mean, I wanted Trey Turner and I think the organization really wanted Trey Turner,
Mm-hmm.
but he he's an East Coast guy, and the rumor is his family wants to be close to his family on the East Coast.
Mhm.
So, it is what it is there, but he really gave it his all and gave us some wonderful memories. And I'm grateful for that. But
Yeah.
Justin Turner, that one stung a little bit, but at some point you got to start making room for these guys that are coming up. I mean, we have top prospects, and they need to get that playing time.
Mhm.
I know Justin Turner's he's a good player, but we need to give these guys a chance to be great, to live up to the potential. It just reminds me of when Adrian Gonzalez, I forgot the year, when he got injured and they brought up Cody Bellinger.
Mhm.
Well, that was it. Once Cody Bellinger showed, lived up to his potential, Adrian Gonzalez, was done with Dodgers.
Mhm.
But that wouldn't have happened if, Adrian Gonzalez didn't get hurt. So by Justin Turner moving, I think it's going to give a lot of opportunities for guys like Vargas to come up and play. It's going to give, Trey not coming back. So Lux is going to be able to have hopefully everyday starts at shortstop, which is a natural position, which would be great. But JD Martinez, that was a rumor I heard last year that he was, that I guess they're talking to JD Martinez, and I like it. I love it. He has one job, and his job is just to hit the ball. Now that we have the designated hitter, I think he will excel. I mean, he's won one or two World Series. He has
Yeah.
experience. He seems like he'd be a good leader. So I'm excited for that. I'm really interested in seeing how Jason Hayward pans out. They're saying that his batting stance is different and he's looking great, and so I'm excited. That's good. And they say Noah Syndergaard is he's not like the old Syndergaard from the Yankees, but definitely is looking and throwing better, and his velocity's up, from like the last 2 years. So uh, you know, with the Dodgers, you're always going to contend for the playoffs. The last few years, they're guaranteed, almost guaranteed contending for World Series. So we'll see what happens this year, but the future's bright for the Dodgers. I think the thing I'm looking forward to most is seeing Vargas, see what he does, and Fernando Valenzuela's number finally getting retired. I think the Dodgers owner Stan Kasten and their group really listened to the fans on that one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely about time. I mean, obviously both of us are way too young to really know, but I mean, Fernando Mania was huge and massive, and it is. I'm always jealous of our mutual friend Marcelo that he was able to get a picture with Fernando,
I know,
wearing
right?
a Ewok T-shirt, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's a great year for the Dodgers for sure. What's gonna be interesting for sure is what's gonna happen with Otani.
Mhm.
Um, by Dodgers not signing Trey Turner and letting go of Justin Turner and a couple other guys, they definitely freed up some money. That's why another reason why I think they did this 1 year deals. I think
Mhm.
they're gonna throw the Brinks truck at Otani.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the thing with Otani is he he's probably one of the only players who makes an impact economically wherever he's at. I saw an article a couple years ago where when he went to Anaheim, you had like Japanese uh like tourism or companies would do these packages for Japanese people to come to Anaheim to go to an Angels game and see Otani, and then spend the week and go to Disneyland and all the other parts in LA. So
Mhm.
he makes it. So they're gonna throw a lot of money at him, but he's gonna generate a lot of money. So I don't think we should be too worried with that.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the future is bright for the team. And it's amazing and great that it's been that way for the past decade or so. Just that every year you can expect the Dodgers to be competitive. Um, Favorites, I think, again to win the National League West. I don't know if they'll get to 100 wins this season again, but I mean, if they just get into like the 85 or more, I think they're still looking really, really good.
Yeah, no, I think they're still looking really, really good. it's kind of funny because I saw an interview with one of the San Diego Padres players, and he just talked about how they look good to beat the Dodgers this season. And the Dodgers always talk about the playoffs and contending and winning the division. But
Mhm.
in San Diego, although they spent all this money and all they could talk about is we just want to beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, really. I guess what they also
So
should be saying is we hope we can fill up our stadium so it's more Padre fans than Dodger fans. But
I know, right? Especially with giving that extension to Machado. Jeez.
yeah, yeah. One last thing I would just mention. I mean, it is kind of weird that for the first time in a while now, there's no Turner playing for the Dodgers, and I've always just associated the name Turner with the Dodgers because of our mutual friends Nick and Tad and the whole Turner family loving the Dodgers. So I kind of wish we had at least one Turner on the team, but that's the way it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, I think he'll be back. I think probably in that coaching position. So we'll see. He'll be back to LA.
Yeah, very good, man. Very good. Anything else with the Dodgers you wanted to bring up?
Uh, the Dodgers, no, but F the Castros, the Astros and Correa and the Giants. I just want to put that out there. We hate
Okay.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, man, definitely, dude. Definitely.
I'm kidding.
Very
I'm
cool.
feeling
So
spicy, man. I saw the Dodgers say I'm feeling spicy.
awesome, man. So let's shift gears just a little bit to comic book movie news. So Quantumania came out 2 weeks ago. I enjoyed it. I mean, I know a lot of people like it's kind of weird how it's like the critical reviews. I mean, it's one of the worst reviewed MCU movies. Like it's down there below with the Eternals, which the Eternals I didn't like. But I actually enjoyed Quantumania, and it seems like a good portion of the fans did too, even though critically it didn't do very well. And financially, it's actually doing pretty good, pretty decent, on par with what the other Ant-Man movies did. So I was curious what you thought of Quantumania.
Well, I think Marvel. I don't think can't lose with any Marvel movie because they just have a strong fan base and will watch anything at least once.
Yeah.
But for it to be criticized as like one of the worst movies besides Eternals, that's a stretch. I mean, Eternals was bad. The best thing about Eternals was Salma Hayek, but other than that, man, Quantumania, it was pretty good. I mean, I think at least for me, did a good job understanding Quantumania, and I just have a new respect for Ant-Man and his abilities. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much you can do when you're like the size of an ant, and also. I do have to say this. I think Paul Rudd made the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was good. It was okay, but my favorite part was just Paul Rudd. I mean, he's just funny and he has great comedic timing. But I really do like I like how I like Kane. What's that actor's name?
Jonathan Majors. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he played him that role very well. I'm excited to see more of him in the future.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to, which is cool. That they use Quantumania to really set up like the next like Thanos level threat, and then definitely don't sleep on Kang because he's gonna get his own Avengers movie, the Kang Dynasty in 2025, I think. So yeah, so he's gonna be the big bad going forward in the movies. And then like you mentioned, I agree. Jonathan Majors, I think, did an excellent job in the role. I'm excited to see more of his movies. In fact, going back to the Dodgers, in Creed 3, where he's going to be the guy who fights Adonis Creed, Michael C. Jordan's character. In the trailers, they show him fighting at Dodger Stadium. Like, I guess they have the boxing match there, which makes me want to see the movie even more now.
Funny story. Do you remember the Superman before the Henry Cavill Supermans? The one right before?
Yeah, with Brandon Roth. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know who I was with. I don't know if it was you guys or I was with my brother and our friends, but we went to see the movies. And in the movie, there's an airplane that's like crashing and he like saves the airplane and he lands in Dodger Stadium. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
I just remember when they show him landing in Dodger Stadium, the guys in front of us yelled, "Go Dodgers!" And it was one of the funniest things I've ever witnessed in a movie theater.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, they probably should do some more marketing. Tell the LA fan base, hey, they're doing a boxing match at Dodger Stadium. Go see this movie now.
I know. I would pay for parking just to go be an extra in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, very cool, man. So yeah, that being said, Quantumania I thought was good. I thought it wasn't my favorite of the Ant-Man movies, but I think it's really important given what it's going to set up for Kang and how bad of a threat he's going to be. And I do feel that Luis was missing, man. I really wish they somehow squeezed him into
Oh,
the movie.
yeah, man, that guy, that was great.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, maybe the next one. But I have a question for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Speaking of King Dynasty and Wakanda Forever or Namor,
Hmm.
I just read, I don't know, do you know who Jeff Loveness is?
The name sounds familiar.
Anyway, because I keep seeing something on Twitter saying that Jeff Loveness like confirmed that Namor's going to be part of the King Dynasty.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. I guess not officially confirmed by Marvel Studios or Disney. Of course, they wouldn't confirm or deny that right now, anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah, my guess is he that's what I heard, that he's going to be involved in the movie. So that should be really exciting to see him back. I mean, I you definitely knew Namor was going to be back in some capacity, but
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see how his story develops.
oh yeah, me too, man. Me too. Anything else with Ant-Man or any other Marvel movies you want to bring up?
Um, no, man, I think I'm good. What's the next Marvel movie coming out?
The next one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3,
Oh yeah.
but I think before that we are probably going to get another Disney Plus series, the Secret Invasion, the one with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
They haven't
So
announced when that's going to be released, but my thought, or what I heard last year, was that it was supposed to be the spring of this year, 2023. So hopefully soon.
so not Marvel, but DC. I saw the Flash trailer,
Oh yeah.
and did you know Michael Keaton was gonna come out?
Yeah, they talked about it last year. In fact, Eddie and I talked about it with we did the Comic-Con podcast we did last summer.
Okay, I must not remember that part, but I was surprised. I was shocked. It just brought me back to like being like 5, 6 years old in theater and just watching that movie.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize how much I like Michael Caine as Batman, but he was my first Batman, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. Definitely really excited for that movie. The trailer looks fantastic, and Eddie had some high praise to say about it. I think it's one of the ones he's looking forward to the most. In fact, that's actually a topic of discussion I wanted to bring up, because a few weeks ago, Eddie and I got to dive into deep with the DC film news that they announced.
Yeah.
So I want to just get your take too. So it's interesting, and I know there's been kind of some fan contentions with some of the decisions they've made, like the Henry Cavill's not back as Superman, and Gal Gadot's apparently in limbo. We don't know what's going to happen with her, but it looks like Wonder
The
Woman 3 is canceled. So I was curious what your thoughts were with the recent announcements with DC films.
um I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because they really want to compete. Not compete. They really want to put out the best product available,
Yeah.
right? And I'm okay with them kind of counting them for now or putting them on the back burner to just really focus on what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Because DC, honestly, I think I'm more of a fan of DC than Marvel.
Mhm.
But Marvel's they just make amazing movies. And DC, I mean, you could say, oh, that was a good story for that character, but nothing really wow. And so I'm okay with it. I know it's very controversial, but it's Hollywood, man. They say one thing and do something else. They do other things, and I think they will revisit Wonder Woman for sure.
Mhm.
I know The Rock really wants to come back as Black Adam.
Mhm.
So I think they will. Whether if they're going to do the origin stories or the younger versions like they did Batman, but I'm okay with it because I do want DC movies to be I want them to be better.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
want I
absolutely. Oh, go ahead, John.
I
Go
just,
ahead.
I just what I really want is I hope they are able to trust the directors and the writers because I'm a big fan of David Ayer,
Mhm.
and then I realized that the Suicide Squad movie we got is like 90% different from the movie that like he wrote and directed.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I know there was fans kind of pushing for that, like they did for the Snyder cut for the Justice
Yeah.
League. That apparently there was enough footage potentially to do the Ayer cut for the original Suicide Squad movie. But I don't think we're ever gonna see that. But
Yeah, I don't think so too, but I mean he's someone I would just, I mean, he's won Academy Awards and has amazing movies, and I don't know why he was just very, why they just limited him. So that kind of sucked. So I
Yeah.
just hope they're able to do that in the future, just kind of, let the directors and writers do what they do best.
Oh yeah, and it seems like that's the path that James Gunn and Peter Safran, I think was his partner, the co-CEOs for DC Films are taking. Like the
Yeah.
fact that they're gonna leave the I'm trying to blank on his name. Edward Cullen, the
Oh yeah.
Robert Pattinson Batman. They're leaving that completely its own separate thing. So they're gonna continue to do their version or that universe of Batman is gonna be completely separate from what they're doing with DC films now, which is really, really cool. Same
Yeah.
thing with the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited. It just kind of sucks. Honestly, I think the best part of the last DC movies for me, as much as I love Batman and I love Ben Affleck's Batman look is my favorite.
Mhm.
Honestly, I enjoyed the Wonder Woman movies more.
Oh, and interesting. Very cool.
You know.
Yeah. So I hope they can work it out. I mean, I know they've parted ways with Patty Jenkins, but I mean, if they can somehow keep Gal Gadot on, I think that'd be really cool. But we'll have to just
Yeah.
wait and see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. So I don't really take I don't really take what they say with a grain of salt. When they say, "Oh, we're going to cancel this" or "We're going to go in a different direction," I still think they're just still trying to figure it out. But they did put. I think the best thing they could do is put things on hold, so they're not just blowing money on random projects.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, yeah. Anything else with DC that you wanted to bring up?
No, man.
Oh, okay, very cool. I wanted to shift gears a little bit to theme parks now. So, and obviously, I know you're a huge fan of Disneyland. You got your annual pass, and I saw you went this past weekend, right? Even with the adverse weather we were having.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I mean, the last time I've gone to Disneyland a handful of times in my life, and the last time was 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend group has passes, and they're always, invite me to go. And I was like, well, YOLO, and I bought a pass, and I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Or how much I was a fan of it. I think my favorite part of Disneyland is, well, when I go, I mostly go in the evenings after work
Yeah.
on a Friday night, and we'll meet up for dinners, go on a ride or two. But I think what I like most about it is just that it's just a really nice environment. Everyone's clean, everyone's very friendly. Um, they have good food there, and you're just hanging out with good people. Being in good company is like half of it. And but I like going in the rain because like there's like no wait,
Oh.
no lines. Well, first of all, I like to take pictures, like the photography a little bit, and
Yeah.
I love to take pictures of buildings that are lit up. I like to get the reflection on the ground in the water,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you go to my Instagram, I just posted up some night shots that I took over the weekend that I really enjoy. So I like doing that. And second, like Rise Against the Resistance, that ride. I mean, if you're lucky, it's 45 minutes, wait.
Mm-hmm.
But last time I waited took like 90 minutes. It was 15 minutes
Oh,
when I
awesome.
went. And the new ride, the Mickey Minnie's Railway, we went on like 3 times, and it was like 15 minutes each time. So you get a lot done, even though it's raining and it's a little cold. I mean, as long as you're prepared, like waterproof shoes and a poncho. I mean, I think I went on a ride like 6 times Friday night from like 6 to 11.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah, and you just take your time. But it's fun, man. I didn't realize how fun California Adventure is as well. The Adventure Campus is really cool. I mean, I went yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw Captain America. I saw
It's Loki, right?
Loki. That was pretty cool. And whoever plays Loki looks a lot like Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, very cool.
That was really cool. The bench camp's cool. And the rides are fun. The Guardians of the Galaxy rides, which used to be Tower of Terror. That's really fun. I recommend everybody go on there and Critter Coaster, but do not go on the Critter Coaster like after you eat because it might,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, really.
Yeah, dude. I almost had an accident there, man. Yeah, but it's good and yeah, they have good eats, man. And surprisingly at DCA Disney California, they have really good media tacos.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, it's fun, man. It's just fun to be in a place where just everyone's happy and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it's been really great for my family to go all the time. And like now that my daughter's in school, we don't want to pull her out of school, so we usually go after school. So we'll go just for a few hours. But I think just with the pass, the way it works out, it's still kind of worth your for your money because I mean you it pays for itself eventually, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just one the thing. It's one of those things where I didn't realize, but like on Friday night, I walked like 10.2 miles, right? Like back and
Mhm.
forth the whole night. But I don't realize it because you're just distracted and you're with people and you're doing fun things. And so it's also a great way to, just kind of um get some exercise too, just walking around.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. What's actually pretty cool what they're going to be introducing now. I saw this news was it a week ago? Like, yeah, I think about a week ago or so, that at the Hyperion Theater, which is where they do the Frozen show, they're actually going to do the full Avengers musical that we saw on the Hawkeye show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be
really
called
fun.
it's called what Rogers, I believe it's what it's
Yeah,
called.
Rogers the musical. I Can Do This All Day is the musical number they've done. My guess is they're going to write additional musical numbers, so it won't just be just the one number they already have written. So I'm really excited to get to see that show. I think it'll be pretty fun and cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm excited for San Francisco and Baymax from Big Hero 6.
Oh, I heard about that too. That should be pretty cool. They're
Yeah,
gonna.
that's a pretty cool movie, but yeah. So yeah, we'll see, man. I like Disney, it's fun. I think what's the most fun about it is just being in good company.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. And then, but keeping on with theme parks though. So Universal just finally launched the Super Nintendo Land. I desperately want to go see that. It looks really, really cool and exciting.
Right?
So I don't know if you have plans to go see it just yet, or have you heard like how it works with the queue or having to like, make reservations?
Every time I look something up, I just it just looks like a hot mess to just
Oh,
go, and then it's expensive because I was thinking of doing like the VIP thing,
Mhm.
but that's like 260 for the day, and it's just I really want to enjoy it and take my time. So I think I'm gonna, because I have a Disney Pass and I go often. I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna wait till it settles down a little bit after summer, like when school starts back in the fall, like in
Mhm.
September. I think that's when I'll go. It'd still be busy, but it shouldn't be as crazy like it's going to be there for the summer because that's the big new hot thing right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a few people that have gone, like posted on their social media accounts, friends of mine, and it just looks really fantastic, really great. But like you said, I
Yeah.
think it's probably in the best interest for those to maybe wait till it calms down a little bit. I was kind of curious though if it was all going to be just Mario, or were they going to implement some of Nintendo's other characters like Zelda and Metroid?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked up too much because I don't want to spoil it for myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never gone to the Harry Potter land either,
Oh,
and I'm a
really?
big Harry
Oh,
Potter. Yeah, I've
I thought
never.
you that would have top on your list, man.
I right, but so yeah, I just want to go for a day and just kind of take my time with all of it. So I'm gonna wait until after summer to go there.
Okay, sounds good, man. Very cool. That's a good way to play it out. I wanted to talk about some shows, like TV shows you've been interested in watching. Like you mentioned to me, you've watched the show Abbott Elementary on
Yeah,
HBO Max.
man, that
Uh,
show is so funny.
I did check out the first episode. It's pretty cool. I like the format of the mockumentaries. I mean, I'm a huge fan of The Office. I love Parks and Recreation. So like doing that mockumentary style show, I think is really really great. Modern Family is another example. So what was the appeal for you for Abbott Elementary?
I follow someone on Twitter who always reviews shows that she watches or just always shouts out recommendations. And I trust her recommendations. And she kept talking about Abbott Elementary, and I started watching it, and I was hooked. It's a mockumentary. It's really cool. It's based in Philadelphia at inner city school. And I think my favorite like storyline is like the principal and how she became principal is really hilarious. I think her name's Ava on the show.
Mhm.
She's a comedian in real life, so that explains why she has amazing comedic timing.
Mhm.
But she's my favorite character. But I mean, I don't want to give away too much
Mhm.
than what I just said, but it's a great show. It's very family friendly. I've heard I've heard a few times that in like the last 10 years or so, that show is the one who draws the largest live crowds. Or in other words, people watch the show when it airs. Like they don't wait till the next day to watch on Hulu.
Oh,
And
okay. Is it
families.
so? It's currently on not just on the HBO Max, but actually on HBO itself, right?
No,
So,
no, no. I've been no. It's a ABC. Is it ABC? Yeah, ABC, I believe, because it's on
oh,
Hulu.
oh, oh,
It's
I
on
didn't
Hulu.
realize that. Oh, okay. I saw it on HBO Max. So I did just a Google search through like Google TV, and that's how they told me you could watch it on HBO Max. I didn't realize that
Oh,
it's an
yeah,
ABC. Oh, cool. Very cool.
yeah. So it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I recommend that one for everyone. Um, the other show I watch, it's not family friendly. White Lotus on HBO.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that one's really good. Like a murder mystery drama. Um, it has what's his name from the second season has the actor from The Sopranos, um, Tony Soprano's nephew.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Nick would be the one to ask. I know he was a big fan of The Sopranos.
Yeah, that's a really good show. I think the second season's better than the first. But yeah, other than that, man, I have been watching too much TV. I don't know if I shared here, but my favorite show last year was Bear.
Oh, you mentioned that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to season two, and I'm looking forward to The Mandalorian.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll definitely get to the Mandalorian in just a second. I want to throw one recommendation to you. I sent this to you in a text just a couple days ago, but I really recommend the show Young Rock. So it's just Dwayne the Rock
Okay.
Johnson, like just recounting his early childhood. It kind of goes back and forth in the timeline. So it's like, from his as a young kid to a teenager to his like early breaking into the pro wrestling business. And they get other actors to play like, Stone Cold and Mankind and Triple H. So you get to see more of his breaking into the pro wrestling business with WWF at the time. And then you get to hear more about his family upbringing too, which is really fascinating. That he comes from the wrestling family where his grandma was a promoter in Hawaii who had a working relationship with Vince McMahon. So it's a comedy, but it's actually really interesting and fascinating. So if you like The Rock or if you're interested in pro wrestling at all, it's actually a really fascinating behind the scenes look at the world of pro wrestling.
Oh, definitely. I love The Rock. I actually read his biography, so I wonder if any of the stories in the biography are in the show.
I think so. Probably wouldn't surprise me if they are because they talked about some really interesting stuff. So yeah, that's another one that's actually I didn't realize it was on NBC proper, but I guess it's on Hulu the next day, and then if you have a subscription to Peacock, you can get that on Peacock as well. But yeah, so
Oh,
it's one
okay.
of those rare shows that again, like you mentioned, that are on network TV and not exclusive to like a streaming show or streaming network.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely have to check it out.
Oh, very cool, man. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap things up with Mandalorian season 3. So this coming Wednesday is the big day. I know Mandalorian's really popular. A lot of fans anxiously awaiting the new show. I kind of did a rewatch to kind of like remind myself what had happened with certain things, how Mandalorian season 2 ended, and then of course Book of Boba Fett has Mando pretty frequently in the show. So you kind of have to watch that to kind of get a background of what's going on with Mando and with Grogu. So, what do you think you're excited to see most in the next season for Mando 3?
Um, I'm excited to see more of Bo-Katan and how that's gonna play out. Because I know she wants a dark saber,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think she could beat Mando or kill him, you know, and he doesn't want to fight. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just to see how that plays out. But I think what I really want to see is how Grogu is going to how him and Grogu are going to bond and how he's going to grow, because he's part of the Mandalorian clan now, but he's also a Jedi. So I really am interested to see how that's going to play out, because he left his Jedi training, but it seems like he's starting to remember a lot of it from back in the day, because he is 50 years old.
Yeah.
Grogu. So I just wonder if he's going to, somehow, how do you want to say it? Like, be a connection for the Mandalorians and the Jedis that are left, so that way they could, I don't know, help Mandalore rise again. I don't know. I don't know the story that well of Mandalore and the Mandalorians, other than Bo-Katan wants them to come together as a people and grow again.
Yeah.
But Grogu's role is definitely a lot bigger than I think a lot of people believe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I think it's going to be in this season that we get the answer of who rescues Grogu from Order 66. They kind of give it a few hints and teases along the way, but I think that's going to be finally revealed. And like you mentioned, I mean, Grogu's starting to get his memory back. I think we're going to see him become even more powerful, which will be really exciting and cool. And maybe even more background on like the Yoda species, like, because we know so little about it really to this point. So I think that's going to be really a fascinating aspect that they're probably going to dive into with season 3.
Yeah, man, sounds good. Do you know if Ahsoka is going to be coming out in this by chance? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, that's what I heard about that this summer or the fall, but before the end of the year, we're definitely gonna get the Ahsoka show. So definitely looking forward to that one when it launches on Disney Plus.
Awesome, man, because she's after watching Rebels, she's one of my favorites.
Sure. yeah. Ahsoka's really awesome, and I think Rosario Dawson does a great job of bringing her to life in live action. So,
definitely.
So this coming Wednesday, season 3 begins. I'm really excited for it. In fact, actually, I did just a little bit of research. Someone actually picked the episodes from the Clone Wars that deal with Mandalore. I'm actually gonna probably post it in the description of this episode, but I'm gonna go back and actually try and watch some of those episodes to kind of fill myself in with more the lore of Mandalore. As Sean mentioned, sometimes it can be a little confusing because I think technically Mando's been exiled, or like he's an apostate now because he took off his helmet. But then you have Bo-Katan's clan of Mandalorians where it's perfectly fine to do that. So it's kind of like two different groups of Mandalore who are kind of, I guess, like kind of maybe going to be struggling or fighting for supremacy, or who's going to be leading Mandalore if they rise up.
Yeah, and Mando doesn't want anything to do with. He just wants to be good with his people. Mm-hmm. Which I guess they're very religious, kind of cult-like, I think it feels like. Yeah. But he has no qualms with Bo-Katan and her people, her clan. But he's gonna find himself at a crossroads sooner or later.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So it's gonna be exciting, gonna be really cool. And there'll for sure be an episode about Mandalorian. In fact, I even looked at the calendar. It's gonna be wrapping up right around the month of May. So as I mentioned off the recording with Sean, there's going to be lots of Star Wars content I'm going to be doing for this podcast come the month of May. So
yeah, man, cool. It's going to be a good month.
Yeah. That was all the talking points I had tonight. Sean, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up? This was maybe a little bit different from my usual structure because it was kind of random with all the things we talked about.
No, man, I just think I'm just excited for the year. I mean, with Star Wars coming up, I think I told you, before the podcast, I'm going to Star Wars night at Disneyland. So I'm excited for that. I hope I get to meet C-3PO and R2-D2.
Very cool.
But Dodgers, I'm really excited. Dodgers, that's my jam. That's when it comes to the spring and summer. That's all I really care about.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Thanks, me too, man. It's going to be really good. Well, there's nothing else for tonight. Let's go ahead and wrap up. But Sean, thank you again for joining me on the podcast. It's always a pleasure just to sit and talk about the things we love, and definitely looking forward to having you on and our other friends as well in the future for future episodes.
Yeah, man. Life is always a good time, and stay dry, man.
Oh, thanks. You too, Sean. All right. So you've been listening to the Casting for Fun podcast. Thanks, everybody.